What's up, guys? Welcome into episode 3 of the Unholy Trinity. I'm host Philip Canias alongside Chris Carino Jr. A little bit different than the last few setups, but we had to get one in post-trade deadline, get in episode 3. Chris and I had one of our first Met experiences last week when we went to Carlos Beltran Jersey Day, the day after he got inducted into Cooperstown. So, Chris, let me just get your initial thoughts of what it was like at Citi Field and a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, Phil. Yeah, our first field trip as an organization, as a collective. It was really cool. I think we'd like to do a lot of that kind of stuff in the future. I think the Mets, especially exclusively, do a really good job with that stuff. Whether it's giveaways or just general stuff that's not on the field, I'm gonna forego the obvious jokes I can make there. But seriously, they do a really good job, especially just the improvements in the stadium and the whole picture Steve Cohen's trying to paint. He's done a fantastic job, and just on our level, just the two of us, it was just obviously cool to hang with you. And obviously, there's a thing in life where even if you don't enjoy something or experience something to maybe its highest level specifically, if you're with someone that's really enjoying something or really into something, that's sort of an experience in itself. I think even being there, I've learned how much I love baseball. It's not a Yankee exclusive love that I have for the sport. I think I'm learning that more and more as I get older. And they played well, which I think was cool to see as well, which has been sort of a rarity, but when it happens, it's fun.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Chris. I really do. That was huge. I really liked the way that Lindor played. Obviously, he had 2 homers and a triple, so I was really enjoying myself. Whenever he plays well, it always makes me very happy, and I'm glad you got to see that in me and him.
Yes, yeah, and I know you like Lindor. I think their personalities sort of create a divide in the fan base, Soto and Lindor, of like, are you more of a Soto guy? Are you more of a Lindor guy? I think you sort of fall in the middle, but I think you've always had sort of a little bit of a bias toward Lindor, rightfully so. I would have that bias as well. And also, we
I
showed
mean,
up to the stadium.
yeah.
Go
Sorry.
on, Phil. Go on, Phil.
No. I mean, I was a kid when they got him. I was in
That,
high
yeah,
school when they got Lindor, and it was like my first real superstar
right.
that chose to come to the Mets. So, or chose to stay here at least. So that was big.
And I don't even think about Judge like that. I mean, Judge became the face of the Yankees when I was 13. I mean, I'm 22 now. That's a long time. And also, we showed up to the park, Phil, excited for Acuna. I'm a big fan of Ronald Acuna Jr. Obviously, if you like baseball, you're a big fan of him. Came off the injured list, got to see him in his first game back. Sort of disappointed and sort of wasn't anything to write home about. Lindor sort of stole the headlines, and we really didn't think about it that way when we got there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big day for baseball. We got to see Zach Thornton pitch, who's been cruising lately. He had a little bit of trouble versus the Marlins the other day, but I think he's shown a lot of promise in his young first season as a lefty for the Mets. But yeah, we got a lot of good baseball players we got to watch. Olsen alongside Acuna. Even though Acuna was just getting his footing in right field, it was still a lot of fun to watch him go out there and watch him play.
And the tone was set immediately, Phil. That ball hits the top of the wall from Lindor in the first inning. Acuna
Francisco Lindor will bat right-handed here against Perez.
And he hits this one out to right field. Acuna drifting back to the warning track, back at the wall, jumps and he can't get it. Ewing on his way to third. And Lindor pulls in at second. Now Ewing trying to score as the throw came in late, and Lindor goes to third, and the Mets tie the game.
Fields it terribly or has trouble with it, whatever you want to call it. And then that was sort of the rest of the game. Acuna has trouble with the plate. Lindor goes 11 total bases. I saw someone on Twitter say with that video of that play, like, oh, Acuna, we don't talk about how underratedly bad Acuna is in the field. How actually Acuna isn't a good fielder. Like, that is such it pissed me off when I
His first
saw
day
it.
back.
It pissed me off. And he also has made the greatest throw I've ever seen. How bad can a defender be if he's made the greatest throw I've ever seen on a baseball field when he threw out whoever that utility player was for the Yankees on that belly play from right field at third base? It's literally the greatest.
High and deep to right. Over toward the line, Acuna's got it. Tagging from second is Bebas. Whoa! They got him! Are you kidding me?
Throw I've ever seen.
Yeah, you can't rate guys that are like one day off the injured list for so long. We didn't even know if he was coming back. But, the Mets, they held their own against the Braves, took 2 out of 3, and then the Marlins kind of had their way with them, which seems to be what usually happens. But I mean, this is just the direction the team is heading in right now. So
I was hoping you guys would at least take care of business the last day. One of my best friends from here, he's gotten really back into the Marlins. Like, he's super into the Marlins right now because he's always been a fan, but he's sort of in and out of it. And this year, for some reason, even we were in.
Well, they were good for a little bit.
Right, but even the Odyssey we were in the other day, Phil, this is when I knew it was crazy. He was his second time seeing it, so I guess that's a part of the story. But I look over, and halfway through the movie, he's watching the 5th inning of the Marlins game on his phone. Like, that was to watch Marlins over the Odyssey is another level.
I don't know how you could watch the first half of the Odyssey and then think, let me see what the Marlins are doing right now.
But the whole point of me bringing that up was he went to the game Sunday, and he ran a half marathon before that. Congratulations, Evan. Big step. Also passed the first step of his SIE, trying to get into the business world. Congratulations as well. Then he goes 3 for 3 at Citi Field, Phil. What the hell is that? Couldn't at least, like, you got to humble him, dude. Yeah, and he shows up to Queens for the Marlins, and you lose to them? They're terrible. I mean, that would have been a whole moment. I mean, you can't let that kid go 3 for 3.
Yeah, well, he deserved it, I guess.
And why'd they lose Sunday, Phil? I was around town. Who pitched for the Mets on Sunday?
What was Sunday? I don't think they were competitive at all for the whole series.
Or 2 days ago.
It was 2-0. I remember I was actually walking in the park and was tuning into the game on my phone, but they had bases loaded, nobody out at some point in the game. I think it was the 6th or 7th inning, and they didn't score. Polanco is the worst player ever. Strikeout, ground out.
His OPS always surprises me. When I look at Polanco's OPS, I'm always like, whoa.
The fact that it's less than like 400.
It's like 300, Phil.
That's 2 stats, by the way, that are added together.
I know.
That are so low.
A
600 OPS is bad.
I did that the other day. There's someone in the Yankee lineup that had like a 400 OPS, and I'm like, Dad, no, that's OPS. That is not. That's not OBP or batting average.
He's
OPS.
not the best contact hitter in the league. No, he is the worst. He's a basketball player.
He's a basketball player. But anyway, I didn't mean to take us off topic. Evan, congratulations on everything. I'm mad that the Mets couldn't have at least humbled you a little bit, but we'll get there. The Marlins will humble you eventually. Like the Mets, they're always a team that'll eventually humble you when you get to it. Anyway, I want to get to the game. We talked about Lindor playing well. I think we had a lot of mixed emotions at the game, a lot of uncertainty in the air at the game. The trade deadline always brings that level of uncertainty, but I think, Phil, this year is specifically different because I think the Mets are in a place of uncertainty as an organization, as a team. Obviously, really underwhelming, underperforming to like almost a historic level this year. You could even say these last 2 years if you group them together like a DVD. But I think when you looked at how the deadline actually went, it was dramatic.
Yeah, so I mean, at that point, the article that I had put out on our Substack was still kind of canon. So I had my reservations about what I wanted the team, who I wanted to keep, and who I wanted to see go. But the Mets, they went all out and they sold everybody. Complete fire sale sell-off. They kept no lives remaining, no rentals remaining. They have an option on Luis Robert Jr. Stearns couldn't find a trade partner. He says they like the upside of having him, but he is a liar. So that's okay. We keep Robert in center field for the season. He'll be all right, and then they have the team option for him next year. But yeah, totally a complete fire sale. Definitely an indicator of the direction that the team is going, and it was unsettling to watch unfold in front of me.
Yeah, just go through some of the initial moves. I mean, when you think about the way you're talking about it, what's the first kind of move that comes to your head? What's a move that you just kind of were like that kind of embodies the fire sale mindset they're going for? And then also, what's a move, whether it happened or it didn't, that you're surprised about how it went down, whether it went down or it didn't go down?
Well, I mean, to start the races was the Freddie Peralta move. So in the last 2 days, they made, I believe,
was
6
Minter
trades.
First, 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6.
Was Minter first?
Minter was first. Minter was first a few days before. And the Minter move was, it was expected to have a lefty reliever that's as efficient as Minter was for the Mets this season, to get 2 prospects back. One, the son of Benny Agbayani, former Mets cult hero. That was pretty cool. So Billy Amick was one of the returns in the Minter trade. He homered in his first game in the Mets minor league system. He's hitting, I think, below 220, but his OPS is up over 800, so he's a guy that really hits for a lot of power. The Freddie Peralta move, we got 3 prospects back from the Rays top 30. That's when I kind of knew that it was going to be a prospect-oriented fire sale. And, it just makes me think about how much of this is just a crapshoot, and we won't really know how good this trade deadline is until the latter years of the Stearns era in the next few years. So it kind of sucks. No one knows what the prospects will become, but the system had run itself dry. So I think that replenishment that we got from these moves kind of gives me a little bit of relief in the future of the organization, especially with the whole lockout looming and what's going to happen next year. So that is one thing that kind of settles me down a little bit, but at the same time, I'm really disappointed in David Stearns and his lack of accountability for the mistakes that he has made. And I know it's big for him to kind of do that in the offseason, especially with the money bags that he's got his hands on and he's got access to, and his baseball people being aware of that. But it's just unfortunate to me that they didn't come away with any controllable talent whatsoever, whether that be a starting pitcher or a first baseman. We saw the Blue Jays obviously trade for Jose Soriano after selling off their ace from the last few years in Kevin Gausman. And then even the Giants, who were in they were in a sell-off. They traded away Arise and Elliot Ramos, and they traded for Marcelo Meyer, a guy that's been underperforming a little bit the last few years for Boston, but still a controllable first baseman who's young and got a lot of upside. And we didn't see the Mets do that, which was really unfortunate. And it just takes me back to when they passed on Pete Alonso, and they didn't even come to him with a deal. They had the frameworks of a deal, whatever that BS was. And after that, they had no real plan to kind of solidify that position. Their plan was to throw money at a utility infielder like Jorge Polanco, who obviously, through injuries and all, has been extremely disappointing this season. So it just feels like Stearns has no grasp or no urgency to lock up such an important corner infield position like first base, and it just makes me feel like he doesn't really care about what that position looks like going forward, and it's not as important to him. And we saw that in the offseason when they were going to platoon Jeff McNeil and Paul Goldschmidt at first base, which was like the most insane thing I'd ever read, especially after losing out on your franchise's home run leader. So yeah, it was pretty disappointing in Stearns. My confidence in him has certainly dipped, and rightfully so. We don't know if he's a genius until a few years from now. So
I thought we could talk about the Cubs. I don't want to get too outside of the Trinity, but I thought the Cubs have made really good moves, especially where their team is, what their team looks like. I know we talked about how much we like Taylor. Obviously, Clay, there's some uncertainties and question marks there, but I thought that was my favorite. Well, I'll get to my favorite move of the deadline, but I thought that was the best Met-related deal, even if necessarily the Mets weren't the ones on the better end of it. I think for a team like the Cubs trying to compete, especially with that lockdown looming, like you said, I mean, they've put themselves in position to be a competitive team. Whether now they can go beat the Dodgers, I think that's a separate conversation, but I think they've kind of maxed out whatever their identity they're going for is. I think that's important.
that trade for the Mets was big. I mean, the Mets and Cubs were already trade partners earlier this season when they got Peterson. And Peterson, who was erratic a little bit in the start to his Cubs tenure, has now kind of hit the earth a little bit, and he's kind of shown us some of that competitive left-handed pitching that he has given the Mets at times. So last year, he held a few days ago, he held the Yankees down to a couple runs through his 6 1/3 inning start. But, I mean, that trade for the Mets is particularly important because they brought in Jefferson Rojas, who's going to be the new #1 overall prospect in the Mets system. Definitely a help, definitely a replenishment whenever you can bulk in that prospect base. That's always huge. You bump Jonah Tong down to the second overall prospect on the Mets top 30. Jonah Tong, obviously, who has been a little bit better as of late. But, yeah, I mean, it's cool to see them get a new #1 guy. Obviously, as I talked about in the article, Clay Holmes was a guy that I wish the Mets had held on to just because we hadn't seen him as much, only 9 starts this season after a broken fibula. So
you think without the injury, that obviously is a different situation.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they could have got more, maybe they would have got less. But, I mean, Taylor, who has been really hot, I definitely think they sold high on these guys. And getting a guy like Jefferson Rojas is pretty big. He's got over an 800 OPS in the minors this season, which is big. But yeah, I mean, it sucks to see those guys go. Tyrone Taylor was a pro's pro and has helped the Mets with depth and outfield issues the last 2 seasons. And like you said, he has been really hot these last few weeks.
I know there's an element of him being a prospect, so the situation's slightly different, but I wanted the Yankees to do that with Spencer Jones. I feel like it was the perfect time to sell high on that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he had been hot. The Yankees kind of fumbled a little bit with not grabbing a catcher, and a lot of people are saying.
I want to talk a little new shortstop in a second, but I wanted to finish because you mentioned my favorite move of the deadline. It wasn't Met related. I've always been a Marcelo Meyer guy. I think that guy is so good. When I saw that move was made yesterday, I was shocked. We even talk about a guy like Adley Rutschman. People are surprised to see the Orioles get rid of him. He's supposed to be part of their future, their core, all of that. I feel that way about Marcelo Meyer. I mean, you can say whatever you want about Campbell and Roman, whatever these few other prospects Boston has had. Meyer's been the one that's always impressed me. The Giants seem to be a perfect organization for him to go to. A talented group, but only a few talented guys. The rest of them are really kind of holding everyone else down. That's where good prospects kind of flourish the best. And now I can root for him too. You know what I mean? Like I can enjoy him. You know what I mean? That was sort of what I felt when Nate Robinson left the Knicks, because I really liked Nate Robinson growing up, but I never could enjoy him. So then when he left, Nate Robinson Celtic jersey in this closet because I was a lunatic.
But didn't he leave the Knicks and then go to the Bulls and terrorize the Nets in 2012?
I mean, terrorize, I think, is a stretch. Him and C.J. Watson got in a scuffle on the scores table in the playoffs that year, but I don't know if it would be like terrorize. He had a few good games where like he was, I do remember, but like
that's one of my earliest basketball memories is Nate Robinson cooking the Nets. In a game, I
remember him being good in that specific game I'm talking about.
Their first year in Brooklyn.
Where him and CJ get into it. My dad was on the scores table too. Me and my mom were nervous that he was going to get like bumped into or something. But anyway, United Center is also so loud. If you can make the trip when the Bulls are eventually competitive and a really good basketball team again to Chicago for a playoff game.
Shout out Chris Attilli, Bulls fan. My Bulls
shout
fan.
Out.
Yeah.
Shout out CBA.
Nate Robinson, CBA. Nate Robinson, 8.6 points per game in the playoffs in his career, 16.3 points per game in that playoff run against the Nets, and I think the Heat, who they eventually lost to. But anyway
I can get a Marcelo Meyer, San Francisco Giants shirt now.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little Lindor, Phil. I want you to get into that a little bit longer, peel that onion just one more layer back, and talk about what it feels like to not only just have him on the roster now post deadline, but also have the feeling that he's not going to go anywhere. Having that uncertainty go away that has seemingly plagued the Met fan base and organization for the last couple months with Lindor.
I think the fact that there was even a conversation about it mid-season was just extremely disrespectful to what he has brought to the organization. And it really just goes to show that Stearns really had no feel and has no feel for what the current roster is right now, a roster that he helped construct and that he chose to help use Lindor to build around. But obviously, winning changes all, losing changes all. So you kind of got to start questioning these things and seeing if they're the right decisions, the right moves. The fact that Lindor is still a Met is very happy to me. We're not out of the water yet. I think the offseason will bring a lot of questions, especially before that December 1st CBA deadline. So we'll see what happens there. A guy with a lot of control under his belt and a guy that's going to eventually, when he gets healthy, be a great player in this league. Why you wouldn't want him on your team, I don't know. Whether that be for the Mets or another roster organization. But yeah, me personally, I'm just very relieved that he didn't go anywhere and that he continued to play for the Mets this season and help mentor these young guys like AJ and Benj and just be a leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, and I know you would like to talk a little Jet stuff as well. We're in a fun time in Jet World. Obviously, you always joke this is the most exciting time.
Best
in Jet
time
World.
of the year.
Preseason, training camp, hype videos are coming out. Edits are being made on TikTok. It's a fun time. All white uniforms are out, which we have an article on the Substack. Please go read that. I'm very excited about those. But just to conclude on the Mets, as just strictly a fan, just strictly what you want as a fan, what do you need to get out of this season? What objective would you like the Mets to accomplish in this next, 2 months while the season's over? Obviously not a playoff team, probably not going to get back into that race, but what would you like them to accomplish? There's some time here to get
maybe in the next 2 months. In 2023, they sold and everyone stunk. 2025, they bought and everybody stunk. So maybe if they sell, they can be better this year and make a push at the playoffs. Obviously, I'm getting
maybe they won't play competitive baseball for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I'm saying with the lockout.
Oh yeah. I mean that's the biggest takeaway from the deadline is that selling sucks no matter what way you put it, no matter how you build it up. Selling is just it's really unfun. Seeing guys that can produce at a major league level go somewhere else is unfortunate, and I'm sure a lot of these prospects that we get will be in that same conversation when the Mets disappoint many fans in 2030 or whatever, and they have to trade whatever prospect they traded for today. So that'll be a problem to deal with when we get there. But for right now, it's just about having good at-bats, letting your young guys grow, lose some battles, but maybe win the war. I think I saw Joe Girardi talk about that the other day on a podcast where he said that he made a decision about a lefty-on-lefty or a righty-on-righty decision that just completely backfired, but it taught them lessons for future moments in the season. So hopefully we can get more lefty-on-lefty moments for Carson Benj. He had a big one the other day. I think it was against Atlanta where he came through when it mattered most late in the game. So we just kind of want to see guys like that, things like that happen. Young guys like A.J. Ewing coming up with the bases loaded. Maybe if he doesn't ground out to second base, that would be huge. If he could just poke one over the second baseman's head and bring in two, that'd be awesome. See how these guys, Christian Scott with the full year under his belt, see how he can perform. Zach Thornton obviously hit a wall the other day against Miami. Hopefully he can bounce back. It's just about seeing how these guys kind of grow and seeing how they react to different adversities on the field, and how maybe when they bring Soto back and when they have Lindor back, when Lindor and Soto in the month of September, how they get along. And just play 500 baseball from here on out and see how it goes.
And I like that, Phil, the lose some battles but win the war. I think it's a good mindset for Stearns and Cohen going forward for the rest of the season. And obviously it's hard to see guys can play that you have to let go from. Obviously, I'll tell you to stay as optimistic as you can be. Benj and Ewing staying healthy seems like the biggest objective for the rest of the season. As long as those two can stay healthy and produce, you're going to stay optimistic for the next couple of seasons, for sure. But yeah, I want to maybe pivot a little bit. Phil, give me some JETS, baby. Let's go. Phil?
Right. That's for 100% right.
And Phil, with the Mets stuff, obviously, it's always going to be trials and tribulations, ups and downs at the deadline. I think the most optimistic subset of the Holy Trinity, right, or the Unholy Trinity right now, is the New York Jets. Talk a little Jets and talk about why you always joke about how optimistic this time is every single year.
Yesterday was the first day of padded practice.
Is that what it feels like
for
to
the New
be
York
a
Jets.
Jet fan all the time?
Yeah, just go crazy. Earthquakes everywhere. But yesterday was the first day of padded practice for the New York Jets. Always a good day. Always good to see Rich Samidi posting his videos from the first day of practice about the nice plays that are being made. Shout out Omar Cooper Jr. But, I mean,
that dude is so tough.
He is good. Yeah, they threw on pads the day before. It's exciting to see what will come for the Jets. I think Geno Smith, in one of his first practices, went 11 for 11. Didn't miss a single throw in practice. He threw a pick yesterday to Minka Fitzpatrick, which was the Jets' first pick in a very long time. But still, the guys look good. The rookies are, I think, what is a lot of the talk coming out of camp right now is how good David Bailey looks and how good Kenyon Sadiq look in his first day of practice. Sadiq is going through a little bit of a recovery from a surgery he had on a hernia around rookie minicamp this season. So as long as they keep him in and out of practices and able to rest, that'll be good for him because you want him to be able to play for you this season and showcase why they drafted him in the top 20 this year. But
I like Sadiq wearing one too. Also, those Gotham rivalry uniforms that everyone always gives like a lot of crap to, they're nice. Like they're not obviously like I don't want them being their home jerseys, but like a little different thing twice a year. They look good.
I mean maybe you throw it in once a year.
Sorry.
I like those throwbacks. A lot of the talk coming out of camp makes me remember that David Bailey should be the odds-on favorite for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was the number 2 overall pick, and I think what they've seen so far is that he's been showing it. The Jets have a great high potential offensive line in Joe Tippmann in the middle, and then Membu at the guard position. So, I mean, him kind of being able to work on these guys and work on guys that have shown success at the NFL level, I think is going to be huge for them. And I think it's big to see that he can kind of keep up with them, especially in the first days of practice, which just at a physical level are tougher than a lot of the other days of practice, coming back from a long off season. And another thing that's really a takeaway from training camp is that the Jets have a lot of pass catchers right now, it seems like.
A lot. Yeah,
a lot. Garrett Wilson, A.D. Mitchell, Omar Cooper, Kenyon Sadiq, Mason Taylor, 2 tight ends. If they want to run 3, they got Ruckert, who can come in, do a little hitch route over the middle, like a little short 3-yard and out, and you can get him something quick to the hand so he doesn't drop it. But, I mean, they got a lot of pass catchers, and they look a lot different than they did last year. I think A.D. Mitchell is going to be way more comfortable, especially with that half season as a Jet under his belt. Now he's got the full training camp, full support of the staff behind him. I think they have a good problem in the fight for wide receiver, too, between Omar Cooper Jr. and A.D. Mitchell. So that's going to be exciting. And then the cornerbacks got better. The secondary definitely got better.
Really needed to, Phil.
It needed some help. I mean, you go into an offseason being the worst secondary, worst defense in the league, and then you add some guys. Obviously, it's going to
be better. You say in the league, Phil. It might be ever.
Ever. Yeah, whatever. We're coming from a place where not many people would go, and we've added
the craziest stat ever.
Some
Phil,
pieces that'll make us not competitive in some games rather than losing by an average of 30 points.
It was the most ridiculous stat.
No, it was terrible. I mean,
so nuts.
No interceptions the whole year. Was horrible. I don't think they got a turnover till week 9 or week 7.
I can't even fathom what you're saying right now.
I know it's terrible, but
thinking about where I watch football, you didn't have a turnover for 9 weeks. What are you even talking about?
It took a while. It took a while to get there. It was a young team, but hopefully they will get an interception in the first
secondary
2 weeks.
For 9 weeks, I'm getting an interception.
Yeah, I mean they just teach you how to play better. I guess.
Let me and Julian Love load at free safety together. I'm getting an interception. I'll float one. Like that's insane.
So we'll see what happens. Nashawn Wright, new cornerback, had 5 picks last year, Pro Bowler for the Bears. So he's going to be excited to see in the secondary this year. Hopefully they don't got to deal with Brandon Stevens too much. Minka Fitzpatrick obviously is going to be fun to watch.
And to talk on a serious note, I know you always roll my eyes with the Seahawks stuff, but I always have thought Geno's a lot better as a pass thrower when he has options. I know that sounds obvious and dumb, but I think a lot of times Geno's a lot better with a plethora of guys, whether it was like a DK, Tyler Lockett, platoon situation, as opposed to maybe a wide receiver one, star wide receiver, where he's going to get forced the ball. Geno's not as good in those parameters. When he has the full field around him of really good route runners, really good catchers of the football, Geno's always excelled more. He had a problem with that in Vegas. I think he's going to have a lot easier of a time in New York. Even when you look at the offenses, people look at Brock Bowers, they look at Genty, they're like, oh, wow, he's downgrading his company, his offense. I really don't agree. This Jet offense is stacked, talented. They just really need to show it this year. But on paper, especially with Garrett Wilson as the head of the snake, that is a really, really good offense to me.
Yeah, I talked to one of my Jets peoples the other day, and I said, is it more important to have a star quarterback that can do it all or a quarterback that's really good in his role? We talk a lot about the NBA and how there's a premium on role players right now, guys that are really good in their role. I think Geno Smith just being a guy that can just get the ball downfield, get the ball in the air, and not do anything crazy, I think that's going to be really good for the type of team that the Jets have built right now. You know, you said that he's not going to want to force the ball to anybody, but I think the fact that there's a lot of guys on the field that can catch the ball is going to be good for a guy like Garrett Wilson to really take that step up to being a real wide receiver one, like the 1,300 to 1,500 yard season range, which would be obviously everything that I've ever hoped and dreamed for. I love Garrett Wilson.
Garrett's gotten the short end of the stick too.
It sucks. You know, even when he looked like he was about to explode with good quarterback play, then you bring in the quarterback's best friend, and he's got to force him the ball. And then there was like challenges between him and Devontae Adams and all that stuff. And last year with the injury, that kind of sidelined him. But this year, when Geno Smith has a lot of options, like you said, he's going to be able to get the ball into people's hands and have wide receivers open, whether they catch the ball or not. I guess that's a question only time will prove to us. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what Garrett will get to see with different defensive coverages, covering different pass catchers, and especially having a bunch of tight ends. That's going to be really big for them in terms of just getting big chunks of yards on the offense.
I completely agree, and I think that will look dramatically different than what you've experienced, especially last year. I mean, the Fields experiment was just awful, and then everything that preceded that was just awful. How many out-of-the-closet old Geno Smith jerseys do you think we see this season at MetLife? Do you think people pulled them out? Do you think people bought them back in the day? And, do you think that they have kept them and are now going to pull them out again? That's my first question.
The Jets fan base is the first believers in Geno Smith ever, I think.
They're the first group that didn't write back. They didn't write back first.
They are going to take the Geno Smith jerseys out of the closet. They're going to move past the Darnold jerseys, move past the Roger jerseys, move past the Gardner jerseys, move past the Bryce Petty jerseys, They're bringing out the Geno Smith jerseys. A lot of them have kind of stayed around because football. I don't know if you've bought a football jersey recently. Obviously I know who I'm talking to, but football jerseys are expensive. So you get one Geno Smith jersey in 2013. You love and cherish that jersey like there's no tomorrow. I mean, I still love my Darnold jersey, and I wore that to a few Jets games last year.
I love your Darnold jersey too.
I got some cool vintage.
I had to cop one.
Pieces for the hoodie game, but
I think I gotta get a Darnold.
What? A Darnold?
I have DK and I don't want it anymore. And I was like, can I just get a Darnold nameplate and throw it on the back? Because they both were 14. But someone told me that it'd be the same price to get the nameplate as getting a new jersey. And I looked at them like they had 4 heads because that doesn't make any sense.
That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No. And just to finish on the apparel, because I told you I had 2. New coaches' hats, new sideline hats, new hats we'll see on the sideline.
I haven't even seen them.
Go look at them. Go look at them.
Let me
They're
check
electric. Last year,
like 'em?
the last year there was a pandemic last year, and that pandemic, Phil, was you want to know the pandemic, Phil?
What's that?
Minimalism on a sideline hat, the most minimalistic sideline hat we've ever had last year, and it was awful, atrocious, an eyesore. I saw it on the sideline as my team was playing in the freaking Super Bowl, Phil. We had to get rid of them, and the NFL listened, Phil. They added the least minimalistic sideline hat we've maybe ever had. NFL listened. I'm not going to give Fanatics any credit, but NFL, thank you for listening. I will buy the one this year because, like all NFL and football fans, I am a simple creature. You give me something that looks cool or I like looking at, I will buy it. It is not that hard. I promise. I'll get it. I think I saw they're doing the black on black is another level.
We're on.
That might be our first little. We have to get each other a coach's hat. That might not be bad.
Christmas episode.
Okay. Well, why do we gotta wait till Christmas?
Yeah,
Week 1 episode. I need mine for week 1, and I'm gonna have a franchise to play on the new Madden, Phil. Like I'm not waiting till Christmas. Jet hat will be great. And it'll look great on Aaron Glenn. Hopefully, dancing, prancing, and jumping into Geno Smith's arms as they clinch the first playoff spot since
2010.
That's way too long, Phil. Is that real? 16 years?
I started watching sports in 2012. I was a little bit of a late bloomer there, but the Jets are the one team I haven't seen make the playoffs out of my 4 teams.
Oh, we have anything we're looking forward to now in the next week or two in Unholy Trinity land? Any Nets stuff? I think the Nets are going to kind of relax now. We got like at least a week or two.
The Nets off season is over, but the Sixers off season wasn't over.
Yeah, let's get into a little LeBron. As you just said, the net offseason's over, so we have a full picture of that roster, so you can maybe give a few comments on that. But first, as close as he'll ever be to me, the greatest player in the history of team sport, LeBron James, taking his talents to West Philadelphia, where Will Smith was born and raised, on the playground where he spent most of his days, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, shooting some b-ball at Wells Fargo Center. LeBron James, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Joel Embiid, and who's the 5th I'm missing? Jaylen Brown. He is the 5th. I've noticed that when people say people have been forgetting Jaylen Brown. He can't be an afterthought.
He's just been disrespected this whole offseason.
He has.
It seems like they're writing him off, and I think maybe he doesn't want to write back.
I loved it.
I think that's going to be the first, because you know how he is on media. He's like a little weird.
I feel a little weird about that because he was kind of talking. It was a little anti-Russ, that whole Geno rant, and now Russ is retired, and I'm sad about it, so I don't feel as negative about Russ as I did at the time. Well, the Seahawks did what they needed to do. Hello, Devon Witherspoon. But looking forward into what this Philly team can even look like do you think that this is real? Is sort of what I would ask. I
think a lot about the Rams. They're just a team that it just seems like at every position they have an all-pro, and at football you only play 5 guys. Basketball you only play 5 guys, so it just seems like they have just a crazy stack.
So it's not even that you only play 5 guys; you only have 1 ball.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But I think the phase that LeBron is in his life, I think he said the other day he could play till he's 50 and just be like the best corner 3-point shooter. Or he said something like that. Like, I could just be this role guy when I'm 50. But I think the part that LeBron is in now, I think he averaged. I don't even know what his averages were last season, but I think he averaged 20 points a game and upwards of 6 assists. So if he can get on there and just play point guard, I think they talked about him being a point guard for them and just being the guy that can kind of facilitate. I think that'll be huge. 7.2 assists last year for them. And then a guy who can also shoot or drive off the ball. Like, he doesn't need to be the number one scorer. He probably won't average more than 17 points a game next season.
And that was the
especially
big conversation. It's like, would you
team
rather
low
have Mike
scores.
Conley at the deadline playing point guard, or would you rather have LeBron James? Like, that was the conversation.
I think LeBron James is still a top 5 point guard in this league.
If you said top 3, I wouldn't have argued with it.
LeBron at your 1 is just like super exciting. I mean, that whole team, if you're a Philly fan, I was actually talking to one of my boys based in Philly the other day. He's just like super excited. He can't stop talking about it. I was looking at a Twitter post the other day, and the East is just absolutely stacked.
It is.
And there's I always think like, well, there's 4 teams in the play-in, so the Nets just got to be one of the 4 teams in the play-in. But then I forget that 7 and 8 are also in the play-in too. So you got to be one of 9, 10, and I think there are 9 guys. Remember, Indiana didn't even make the playoffs last year, and they're getting back their best player. So I mean, 9 teams in the Eastern Conference right now that are going to be that you got to worry about that were good last year or could have been good last year, and then you got to worry about AJ DeBansta coming up with Washington, Chicago, all their young guys.
I make a hot take.
Yeah,
Michael Brown Jr. is better than Trae Young right now. Right now.
that would be nice, wouldn't it?
I'm like serious. I think that's real.
I think we have to temper our expectations.
I
on
really
Michael
don't.
Brown.
I really
guy.
no.
Even I remember 2021. I'm sitting in my living room and I'm just having the time of my life while he's like, "It's cold in here in MSG."
No, that was the greatest. It was the greatest.
That was
thing
an
ever.
exciting day. Like
But
every time I
also,
go to a Mets game, I'm reminded.
Halliburton is really everything Trae thinks he is.
Trae Young is like a 29 point per game scorer.
I Phil, there's not an archetype in sports I hate more than a basketball point guard that's selfish, that plays in a way that doesn't make the guys around him better. Like a guy who's going to average 10 assists a game, but also is like not a guy guys want to play with. Like that's like the biggest red flag to me.
I mean, we'll see. It's going to be a crapshoot with
I'm telling you.
with the Wizards this year because
Phil.
of how Trae Young is and how injury prone AD is. Even though he's going to play all 82 games this year. I mean, we'll see what happens. But
I'm telling you,
yeah,
August 4th, 2026. We're gonna bookmark that with the date of when I said that. It's gonna age like wine.
I hope so. I mean, I hope you're right. I hope somebody on the Nets averages 15 points a game that's not named Julius Randle or Michael Porter Jr. But
Dude,
I mean,
Yegor.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's got to make that jump. Let's make the jump.
We saw it.
We can't lock it in. We got to make the jump. He was.
I know.
I gotta be. I know you are a guy that has a huge imagination. Me, I gotta be grounded a little bit with our Yegor. I love Yegor just as much, but
I might go all in, go Julius Randle jersey. Might just go
let's
all
do
in.
it.
Might just
Let's
go
do
all
it.
in.
You get Randall. I'll get MPJ, and then we'll just like
That's a recipe for disaster.
go wreak havoc at the Barclays Center
No,
Modelo Bridge.
we need. I get Nolan Traore. I get Josh Minot. You get Day'Ron Sharp. That seems to be that's like the favorite player's favorite player duo.
That's like, who are these guys, bro? Get them out of here. Like, holy
Stop.
shit.
Stop.
No, I'm a
They're
huge
good
Minot guy.
basketball players.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see these guys in their roles. But I'm a little scared. I mean, I thought that the play. I was like, oh yeah, we're playing bound. But you're kind of fighting for one spot.
We are.
You're fighting for one spot between Milwaukee, who's got a huge haul back from Miami,
They're gonna
Chicago with the most potential they've ever had in the last 10 years.
I guess.
Washington, who's obviously going to be good with AJ DeBansta and those guys.
Whatever.
Charlotte, are we even worried about Charlotte? I don't even know.
Nets gonna have a better record than the Wizards this year.
Could happen.
Ooh.
But you think about it like this: like the Nets had 20 wins last year. If they go and win 35 games next year and they finish 11th, is that like a good season?
They win 35. No, they need to win 40.
40 games gets you in the playoffs.
40
Gets
wins is a
you
good
shot
season.
at it.
40 wins is a season.
If they win 35 games after winning 20 games last season, I mean that's a.
Yeah, but like Jordy and them are going to be disappointed if they don't win at least 40. I'm telling you.
I think Jordy's a guy who is not gonna fall on expectations of a good basketball team. He knows what a good basketball team is in his mind, and this team that he has now. I think he knows what he wants to see out of them, and I think if that is a 35-win season where everybody gets better, I'd take that rather than a season where Randall averages 30 and MPJ averages 27 and they go to the 10 seed and nobody really gets better.
And I think the public perception and the organization's perception of the team is dramatically different. I think the organization thinks they're good. They think it's a good basketball team, not contender, but they think this is a team that can go to the play-in, that can compete with these playoff teams. Like I agree. I mean, they're stacked. I mean, if guys are going to continue to underwhelm and underperform, that's a different conversation. But for where these guys are, what we think they can be, this is a good basketball team.
I think there's Sixers stacked, and then there's Nets stacked.
I disagree. I don't know. I think there's Spurs and Thunder stacked. I think there's Sixers stacked, and I think there's us stacked.
Do you think the Spurs and the Thunder and Philly aren't on the same level?
They should literally play. They should play like if there's a Champions League equivalent where they could play like the super teams, like they would do that. You know what I mean? Thunder and Spurs are just literally in a different league. They let their inexperience. Their inexperience.
I was actually thinking about that the other day, and I remember.
I was in Atlantic City this weekend, Phil. I didn't want to bring this up. So much Knicks paraphernalia.
There's Knicks everywhere you turn, and it's only going to get worse. Right now, it's just the quiet before the storm. When the season kicks back up, it's going to be as worse as it's ever been.
No, the worst I've had it so far was actually back from you on my way back home. The train I took on the way there and the way back from Penn Station. If you're one of these people that's buried your head in the sand and acts like it kind of hasn't felt like the Knicks won, or like it hasn't if you don't consume enough stuff, it can feel like it's not happening. Go walk in Penn Station at any hour of any day ever. You're in the parade as it's happening.
I mean, the guy. There's a guy that hangs out on the corner all the time. He's got a Walt Frazier jersey. I haven't seen him take it off in the last 3 months.
Did you ever see him wear it up until 5 months ago, or no?
I never even saw the guy, so.
They're planning people. You know what I mean?
That's the state of New York City.
No, don't collude Big Z into this.
It's up to us, bro.
No, don't. Big Z is an ally for our friends.
If I was a politician, and my aide told me that I have to root for the Knicks on their playoff run, I'd have to just drop out of the race or drop out of the job.
Okay, don't make me do this whole thing right now, but that would be fundamentally like Zoran. If he was a Net fan, it would be everything he's against to become a Knick fan to win the office. You know what I'm saying? The whole point of him being a Knick fan that people like, and even a Knick fan that we can tolerate and we like sort of enjoy, is that he's a legitimate, like, true Knick fan. Like, will sit in the 200s. Doesn't pander to the other side of the city. There's a true like middle class fandom to him that we all resonate with.
I'll take what I can get.
Obviously,
I'll take what I can get.
He's a Met fan too. He's also a Met fan. I don't get to share anything with him, and you're walking around like you get to share.
You also live in New Jersey. I get to share a city and baseball team. Sorry.
Anyway, just a little bit of a closing, Phil, a level of optimism out of 100 on all three organizations. I'll start with Mets. Go.
40.
That's not high. That's really
a failure. It's been a failure, and I'm gonna grade it like a failure. I can't be optimistic. Let's say there's 100 points and you get 40 points. Have fun at test. You got 40 points of good things happening, which is a lot.
You're trying to make a 40%.
That's what the teachers always told me.
Dumb kid, yeah.
Jets, I'll give them a 75.
That's very high.
What did I say? I think I was at 8 in our first show.
You were pretty high there.
First Jets confessional, but I was a little high.
You want to fly
70.
I
want to fly with them Jets. I want to fly with them Jets. I do want to fly with them Jets. Who want to fly with them? I want to fly with them. 70 to 75 range, maybe 73. David Bailey, odds-on favorite to win Defense Rookie of the Year. So let's do it. Let's make it happen. Number 2 overall pick. And Brooklyn. What do you think about Brooklyn? What's your number for Brooklyn? It's gonna be like 100.
I'm at an 85.
85. That's freaking high, bro.
I am. Not like 85, like, oh, they're going to win right now, but 85, like, I'm confident they're going in the right direction.
I'm at a 70 just because there's 70 good things that are happening for them, which is a lot. But There's a lot of ground they got to make up. And if they win 35 games next year, I'll be at an 80. If they win 40 games, I'll be at a 90. So
if I was creating exactly what I wanted for them at this point going into next season, how similar does the reality look to that? It's around 85% of what I wanted.
All right, that's good. I think that'll probably do it for us, right?
Phil, been a pleasure. Know you're a busy guy. We appreciate it as always.
Jr.
Happy Francisco Lindor still plays for your baseball team.
The baby Mets made it through another trade deadline. Congrats
That's
to them.
unbelievable also.
Thank you so much.
Go
Chris,
Mets.
Thank you.
Go Jets. Go Nets. Thank you, Phil, as always. See you later.